your finger to follow the track or line or show the correct picture. Use a coloring crayon to draw a line or write a number or sound. Look at the picture and say the number or sound out loud. Use a scissors to cut on the dotted line. Look at the picture. Use these symbols for the lesson of the day, which will be allocated at the top right side of each page. For example, Lesson 1, Prepositions and Directions.
Welcome to MyZone Online School. My name is Teacher Nitai. Today's theme is farm. Now, before we begin anything else, let's sanitize our hands. Rub, rub, rub your hands back, inside and forth. Now your hands and mine are clean. We have sanitized. Rub, rub, rub your hands back, inside and forth. Now your hands and mine are clean. We have sanitized. Now remember to maintain a social distance at all times. Today's lesson is handwriting and colors. Let's turn to page 19 of our booklet. The instruction reads, complete without lifting your hand. What you need to do, you pick up your pencil and trace from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. The most important thing that you need to remember, the frog will definitely run after the fly to catch the fly. The hen will walk to its nest where it laid its eggs. The bee will fly to the beehive. Now let's move over to the chalkboard, then I will explain what you are supposed to do. Let's look at the picture on the board. I have a frog and I have a fly. The frog will walk or run over to where the fly is. Now what we need to do is to connect the frog and the fly. Let's connect the path where the frog is going to walk until it gets to the fly. Remember, you do not lift your hand until you finish. And this is what we will do. We join or connect the dots. We go up, we go down, slowly we curve down. Do not lift your hand until you reach the end. And there the frog will be able to catch the fly. Now let's move over to page 19 of our booklet. With your pencil or pencil color, I would like you to trace the dots, join the dots, starting from where the frog is, which is your left-hand side, going over to the right-hand side where the fly is. And let's trace the dots or join the dots slowly and neatly without lifting up your hand. You can only lift up your hand when you have reached the end of the path. Now let's look at the next picture below the frog and the fly. We have the hen. The hen needs to get to its nest to lay more eggs. Let's start from the top where the hen is. We trace and join the dots as slowly and neatly as possible. Try not to go out of the dotted line and take your time because there are some curves that you need to follow. You should curl up and go round, curl down and go up, curl up and go down and curl back again until you reach the end. Now let's look at the next activity just below the hen and the eggs. There is a bee. The bee needs to fly to its beehive and zzz, it goes. Where do you start? Right under the bee. Put your pencil on the dotted line and let's go slowly but neatly. Remember to go nicely on the curves without going out of the line. Take your time as we go up, join the dots, go down, curl up, curve down, let's curve up, let's curve down and up until we get to the beehive. If you have finished this part of the lesson, I would like to say, well done. Let's turn over to page 20 of our booklet. The instruction reads, what happens first? Remember, we need to know the correct sequence of the events. I can see right on top of page 20, there are numbers in blocks. Shall we read those numbers together as we point to the number 1, 2, and 3? Now let's look at the pictures on the left-hand side of page 20. Let's study the pictures together. The first picture right on top, we can see a tail of a mouse. And where is the head and the body of the mouse? The mouse is walking into the kitchen through a cat flap. Once it gets in, let's see what happens on the next picture just below. Look at the picture below picture number 1 on top. Second picture, we can see the mouse. What has the mouse seen? Wow, the mouse has seen some cheese. What do you think this mouse thinks to himself? We all know mice love eating cheese. Now let's look at the next picture at the bottom of the page. The mouse is now very close to the cheese. What do you think the mouse would like to do? Remember, mice love eating cheese. Now we need to think a little bit more. We need to know the sequence of these events. What happened first? Okay, let's go back to our pictures as we discuss them. Which picture is supposed to be picture number 1? First, remember what I said. The mouse walked into the kitchen through the cat flap. That is supposed to be picture number 1. So which one is picture number 1? Is it the one on top, the second one in the middle, or the third one at the bottom? Look carefully. Once you have found the picture, write number 1 next to that picture in the block. Now let's hunt again for picture number 2. Once the mouse goes through the cat flap, what does he do? He sees the cheese, he moves closer to the cheese. So which picture is picture number 2? I guess he is trying to smell and taste the mouse. So which picture is picture number 2? Right, let's look for picture number 3. Once the mouse has tasted the cheese or has eaten up all the cheese, what does the mouse do? The mouse walks out through the cat flap. And that's when we see the tail of the mouse hanging out through the cat flap. If you have finished that page on page 20, we need to look or turn to the next page, which is page 21. On page 21, I will read the instructions. The instructions say, color in the picture, color the biggest picture or color the biggest animal brown and the smallest animal yellow. I would like to explain to you closely what is biggest and what is smallest. Now let's look at the items that I have on my table. I have a big bottle of juice and I have a jar of magnets and I have a small box of juice. Now we would like to find out between these 3 things or objects lined up here, which one of the 3 is the biggest of them all? If we look, the juice bottle is the biggest, and which one is the smallest? The juice or the juice box is the smallest. So we must remember biggest and smallest when we are comparing 3 or more things. Let's look at these mugs or cups lined up here. I have a yellow cup or mug, I have a blue mug or cup, and I have a white mug. Now let's look closely at these 3 mugs or cups. Which one is the smallest amongst the 3? The yellow one is not that small. The white one is not that small. So the smallest is the blue one. Now let's see which one is the biggest of them all. Is it the white mug, the blue mug, or the yellow mug? Yes, the yellow mug is the biggest between all these 3. Let's go back to our booklet. We need to color the biggest animal brown, the smallest animal yellow. The animals are on the farm. We can see there is a cow, there is a sheep, and there is a lamb. Now, which animal is the biggest of them all? Let's look closely. Yes, if you have identified the cow as the biggest, you need to color it brown. Now let's look for the smallest animal. Which one is the smallest animal amongst the 3 animals on the farm? Is it the cow, the sheep, or the lamb? If you have found the smallest animal, you may color it yellow. Once you have finished on that page, we will end our lesson for now. Let's turn over to page 22 of our booklet. Today we will learn about colors. Do you know all your colors of the rainbow? The instruction on page 22 tells us that color by using the color code. There is a snake that has been drawn for you on page 22. There are different parts that you need to color the snake. This is a very colorful snake. Now let's look in the blocks right on top of page 22. Number 1 says, on number 1 you need to color yellow. Do you know which color is color yellow? I will show you which color is color yellow. I have a yellow mug. If you look on the board, yellow, I've got yellow blocks, and for number 1 we must color yellow. So look back on page 22 of your booklet and look for all number 1s on the snake and color them yellow. In block number 2, we need to color red. Let's get back to the board again as I'm going to show you what red looks like. That is color red. So for every number 2 that you see on the snake, you must color in red. That is red. Let's go back to the booklet again and check to see what color is color number 3. Color number 3 is blue. And on the board, let's look once more. Here is number 3. And there is our blue. That's color blue for number 3. Wherever you find number 3 on the snake, you need to color it blue. On the booklet, we have to look at the booklet again on block number 4. The number asks us to color in brown. And back to our board once more. Here is color number 4. It is brown, and there is color brown. I can see a brown horse. That is color brown. So on your booklet, if you see number 4, wherever you find number 4, you color it brown. In block number 5, we are expected to color in green. And color green is over here on the board. Number 5 must be colored in green, and that is color green. Just like grass, the leaves of the trees are also green. Let's look at page 22 of our booklet. We are moving on to block number 6. Number 6 is instructing us to color in orange. Do we know what color is orange? Let's look on our board. There is number 6. Orange and the color orange. Just like the fruit that we all love to eat, an orange. Okay, let's move on to block number 7. Number 7 requires you to color in purple. Do we know how the purple color looks like? Let's refer back onto the board and see how the color purple looks. So wherever you find number 7 on the booklet or on the snake, you color it purple, and that is color purple. Now let's get back to our booklet so that we can be able to complete the activity as required by the instruction. I will read the instruction once more. Color in by using the color code. Remember the color codes: yellow for all the number ones, color red for all the numbers twos, color blue for all the number threes, color brown for all the number fours, color green for all the number fives, and color orange for all the number sixes. Now the last one is color purple for number 7. Let's do that activity as we finish our booklet. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson. Now let's sanitize our hands. Rub, rub, rub your hands back, inside and forth. Now your hands and mine are clean. We have sanitized. Rub, rub, rub your hands back, inside and forth. Now your hands and mine are clean. We have sanitized. Now let's remember to maintain a social distance at all times. Now it is time for me to call upon Zoe. Zoe, it is time to say goodbye.
Unapinga cha Mungu ningeni kusumina manoga peleka kuchongira nani wedeni Oshimosha kukuta festan Shimaliwa shapumbaka tushote bayaye Goamono haila ule ijoko Timbuluka kuchontile njotange France Kapicha kankino kafuta Watino tuyongela tembolo tosusa Hemalia okato pake nino kafuta Otalkalifa kemwana ikuminija Hii ni mainyo haishawa Haipura pomba piratu ngoma valulo Henga shikao dino karantilo pota Hemeti tano dino kukalanda futwa Tambule feri avali atatu ane mwana mangao Etabo katira nopatu nombija Shakuyo pandula Shaka 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 If the robot from Nagoka recharge I got a light tick combo Nini woli nandi shanga street pa Mexico Kapena varia fimbo Hate to pay Work hard and play hard Kakuno blue Hopiti rocket down Get serious for a halo kucha It's obvious God can see Or faith in nature Before you kulola London newspaper Nande nenge mina iya or breakfast Fresh opportunity, don't waste time. I'm when on the higher who call up Sakalio dem sakaneka hwe okunela ngokwanya ndapateka Utaro bereje tatita mameme Kali go kukoja chimo cha kukuta